Guys, I mean, where can we start this? Where can we really start this? There's so much to talk about. Liverpool, United, Paris Saint-Germain, El Clasico, regarding Real Madrid, Barcelona, just the match last week and both teams separately. Man, what an absolute week we just experienced. Arsenal with one of the greatest comebacks. Liverpool making a new record defeat in the history books against Manchester United. Man, I mean, what a freaking weekend, what a freaking week we had since the last episode, last Wednesday, I believe it was. Man. Guys, today we're going to talk about what happened over the weekend regarding Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United. We're going to talk about Paris Saint-Germain versus Nantes, and just PSG going forward, of course. We're going to talk about Premier League. I just mentioned that. We're going to talk about the Copa del Rey as well as La Liga, regarding Real Madrid and Barcelona, guys. I also want to kind of recap on our episode that we had last week or 2 weeks ago with Sogarit, with my cousin. I'm going to kind of recap on that and make a prediction, because tomorrow, Wednesday, we got the champions. Of course, we got the Champions League. And then next week, we also have the second leg of the second half of the Champions League. So, I just want to come to this week's. I just want to recap on the games that are going to be happening this week. Of course, we're going to go through the games over the weekend. And then we're going to talk about a bit of Paris Saint-Germain, PSG news specifically, and other football news. Today, guys, I'm not going to really talk about the games. I mean, yes, I'll talk about the games, but I want to talk about I don't want to talk about the goals. I mean, I'll mention a few of the goals, but I want to talk about how teams have been playing, how they played, why, kind of more into, I guess, what would you say? Not technical. The technical. That's like the footballing style, the way they played. I want to talk about the brains of the games, like kind of how, like both how they played, but also mentally. Because I feel like what really, let's just go straight into it. Let's start off Liverpool and Manchester United, 7-0. Man, 7-0, a new record defeat for Manchester United in the history books. 7-0 against probably their biggest rivals. I'd say Liverpool are their bigger rivals than Man City. Against their biggest rivals, Liverpool, the big Reds. The Reds, the Red Devils versus the Red, I don't know, what do you call this? The Red Bird? Well, what animal is that? I'm not quite sure. But anyways, guys, 7-0. CR7 versus United. 7-up. 7-up. If I had a 7-up drink, I'd be drinking that here. But guys, what an absolute shocker. I mean, I don't know where to begin. I mean, I'm not a United fan, so I'm not really with United as well. United are not my favorite club. Like over here, I probably would have supported Liverpool, which I did over the game. Like I'll say like, oh come on, I hope Liverpool win. I mean United. I mean the way that United have been playing before this game. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, of course the back line with Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Licho, Varane, Fred, as I said, Casemiro, really kind of holding that midfield down was just incredible. I really liked watching that. But even then, like United as a whole aren't my favorite team. I would rather choose Liverpool instead. And for me, I was supporting Liverpool, but man, like at the same time, I wasn't expecting Liverpool to win either, because I was like, oh, I hope Liverpool win. I'm not a Liverpool fan either, of course, as you can tell. PSG, everywhere you see PSG, like all the jerseys and stuff. But I'm not a Liverpool fan. When it comes to the Premier League, I would support Arsenal and Liverpool. Like those are my top two teams in the Premier League. When it comes to Premier League, those are my top two teams. But for this game specifically, I wanted Liverpool to win, but I didn't think they would win. And this is due to, of course, if we look at their last games, we see Liverpool. I mean, of course, Liverpool's form not at the best. just last week as well, or 2 weeks ago. You see at Anfield, in their home stadium as well. You see in the first 15 minutes, Liverpool go 2-0 up, and then they get smacked by Real Madrid at Anfield as well. They're doing it at Anfield. Honestly, probably one of the top 5, top 10 most, like, I guess, hardest places to win in because of the atmosphere, the fans. It's just crazy. Of course, it's actually crazy. And then I guess you also see United's form, as I just mentioned, Casemiro, the backline of Licho, Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford's technical ability, all of that. They beat United, or they beat Barcelona 2-1, and then they come to this and they get 7-0. A record defeat in United's history is embarrassing. But yeah, as I mentioned, I don't really want to talk about the goals, but rather the technical, the brain part. So what I mean by that, let's just talk. Let's get right into it. Let's go more into depth. Liverpool, man. In the first 15 minutes, when I was watching the game, I was like, man, Liverpool are dominating. They look more alive than they usually are in most recent past games. They look more alive, especially in that midfield. And one player that really, like, made me, like, believe this, or like that really kind of pushed my thought towards, oh, Liverpool are doing good, which they were doing good, is Harvey Elliott. What a baller, man. I mean, Fabinho also. Jordan Henderson, not my biggest fan. I'm not a big fan of him in this Liverpool team, but Fabinho, I think he did pretty good today, even though he kind of doesn't have. I mean, he has 1.5 legs, not like Sergio Busquets with only one leg. I mean, he has no legs now. So then, yeah, anyways, Harvey Elliott, man, what a baller. I feel like the way he played, like the pass back, if he's getting pressured, he knows, oh, there's no worry to play fast. Let me just pass back to Trent to Konate to Fabinho, go out wide and stuff, and then like kind of move the ball, move it into the free space, move it back to Alisson if you need to, cross it over to Robertson. Of course, you know the Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold TTA, or TAA, not TTA. I guess Trent TTA. Anyways, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, these guys, especially Trent, man, these guys love to cross the ball, switch up the play, and we see that a lot of the times. And as I mentioned, Harvey Elliott, man, he's the really one player that really caught my attention, who kind of made this team alive, especially in that midfield. As I mentioned, when he's getting pressured by Fred, by Bruno Fernandes, by Luke Shaw, he was like, oh, there's no need. Not just him. I feel like a lot of the players, but Harvey Elliott especially, the way he dribbled, the passes he made, going back, like he said, if I'm being pressured by the players I just mentioned a moment ago, let me just pass it back, and just go to the open space, and we'll restart the play. We saw this last year with Real Madrid as well, against Liverpool as well, against in the Champions League final, where you see a lot of the time Real Madrid, they pass it back to Courtois, they reset the play, and I feel like this is a way to play football. I mean, you don't force it all the time. Pass it, see what options you have, and Liverpool, they, I mean, United, they also did good in the first 15 minutes. After that first goal, near the 43rd minute, it kind of fell off. But even then, like, Liverpool, I think after the first 20-30 minutes, Liverpool, they were just demolishing United, in terms of like getting good attacks. As I said, the passing ability, like they reset the play, and that kind of really drained United a lot. As I mentioned, I think another huge reason is because of how much high depth Liverpool had. You can see a lot of the time Wout Weghorst, man, what a finished player he is. Signing for United, but I mean, sometimes he's pretty good, but I got to be honest, this guy he dropped back way too much, and for that reason, I guess, I don't know, he just kept on giving the ball away. As I mentioned, I mean, United, I mentioned that United had a pretty decent start as well, first 15-20 minutes. They had some really good through balls in. Unfortunately, Alisson, Van Dijk, even Trent, man. Trent was kind of pocketing Rashford. We all expected the opposite due to Trent's like performance this season. However, yeah, Trent, Van Dijk, man, he's back. I think he was injured, like, or he didn't play last game or something. And then, as I said, Harvey Elliott was really the main man who really, I guess, made the midfield specifically alive. He was really who caught my attention. The attack man, unbelievable. Cody Gakpo. Everyone thought, oh, why are they signing Cody Gakpo from PSV this winter? And then at the start, I will agree he was a bit of a flop, but man, he is showing his ability. He now has 4 goals in the Premier League in 5 less games than Anthony, guys. Anthony with only 3 goals and I don't know how many 5 more games than Cody Gakpo has. And yeah, Cody Gakpo, his ability, of course, he has the. I think he really fits the Liverpool game, the play style to pass it down the wings, to move it side to side. The thing with I don't know, Darwin Nunez, I knew he would have a masterclass, man. I just felt it. I mean, I said it a bit as a meme, but at the same time, man, I just knew it. I knew after Real Madrid, after all of that, even after last week, I think Liverpool lost and Barcelona lost as well. We saw the aftermath, but then they were like, okay, we cannot let this get to us. We cannot let the mental state get to us, and both Barcelona, Liverpool come back. But yeah, Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, of course, Mo Salah is Mo Salah every day of the week, but Gakpo, Darwin Nunez. Just imagine Sadio Mane was still in this team. If Sadio Mane was in this game as well, imagine how much more United could have lost. 1 Ten Hag, 2 Ten Hag, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ten Hag, 8, 10, 9 Ten Hags, or 10 goals. Ten Hag. He hagged 10 goals. I don't know, what does hag even mean? Is that even a word? But yeah, it's just it's mental. It's mental. And as I mentioned, Liverpool's midfield, especially Harvey Elliott, very, very alive. He really caught my attention. The attack, the way they move the ball. Darwin Nunez, Cody Gakpo, what's his name? Mohamed Salah at the back line. And then I just talked about a bit about United. 1 goal in the first half, however. 1 goal, which was, I think, who was it? Was it Cody Gakpo? Yeah, the beautiful through ball in by Robertson, through ball in behind, and then it's Cody Gakpo. A bit of a hard touch, but luckily no one really around him or trying to challenge that ball against him. He takes a touch into the inside, finesse it around David De Gea, beautiful goal. And then even if it was just that goal, like if it was 4-0, I think it would have been good for United. But the fact that they conceded 6 goals in 1 half, in the second half, was deadly. And I think a problem we really see in the second half with United, after the third or fourth goal, you really see this communication. And this is what I wanted to talk about, is kind of the team. This is where I talk about the brains. That's what I meant. It's like kind of how the team works together, the mental state, and that's where it all kicks in. And I think a huge factor, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, you can see, not just this game, I feel like a lot of the times Bruno, he waves his arm. He's a very active player with his arms when he tries to communicate. And it may look bad because it looks like, oh, he's yelling at his teammates. I mean, he mentioned himself, he was with an interview with Rio Ferdinand, a center-back legend icon for United and England. But he had an interview with him, I think just a week and a bit ago, and he mentioned like, oh, I'm when it looks like my hands are kind of yelling at my teammates, rather I'm telling my teammates I'm motivating my teammates instead. So I think that's a huge reason. A lot of us thought, I think a lot of the blame was going on Bruno, and it's not just like, yeah, if he was trying to motivate his teammates, like, good for him. Like it looks like you were doing, like you were frustrated with your team, but at the same time, like he's saying, "Oh, I'm just trying to motivate." But on top of that, Bruno, man, he was telling another thing. It's not just, "Oh, I'm motivating my teammates." A huge factor was he was yelling at his coach as well. He wanted his coach to sub him off, and as I mentioned, after the third or fourth goal, PTSD from last season at Old Trafford, 5-0. Came back into this United team, and they were all dead. They were like, oh, I'm not having this. They gave up. They really gave up. They were like, after 7. I mean, when did they score the 4th goal? First, yeah, straight into the second half. Darwin Nunez with the header. Harvey Elliott, a bit of a sus cross in, like it rebounded back to Elliott, and a bit of a hard one. But then luckily, Nunez was there to header it in. And then Cody Gakpo yet again with a beauty. It's Mo Salah who sends Lisandro Martinez back to Ajax. He sends him back to Ajax, and then yeah, he passes it down to Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo who does a nice. He lifts the ball over top of David De Gea. That was the third goal, and then fourth goal, 66 minute. I'd say after the fourth goal or the fifth goal, United were done for. I mean, definitely after the fifth goal. I think a bit after the fourth goal is one. The way that Liverpool were playing, the amount of press, like I guess I don't think it was press. Rather, the high depth that Liverpool played made them look like they had a bit of press because they played higher up on the pitch. They were able to win the ball back higher up. That really killed United. Another thing, what was I gonna talk about? Yeah, as I said, the way that Liverpool play, like they said, like, oh, if I'm being pressured, they reset the play a lot, and that made United have to press a lot, waste their energy. So they were just drained down. So I think really after that fifth goal, it really started to get out of hand for United, mentally, physically. And then yeah, as I said, yeah, Darwin Núñez yet again getting another header assisted by Robertson. As I said, Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, they really love to make those crosses in. You see in an 83rd minute, I don't quite remember this goal by Salah, but you can see, man, he takes his shirt off. He's like, oh, I don't care if I get a yellow card for taking my shirt off, my kid off. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take my shirt off, celebrate. At his home as well, 6-0 against United, probably their biggest rivals. I mean, surely he has to do that. And then, guys, it had to be the 7th goal, making the record defeat against United. Had to be Roberto Firmino, Bobby. It had to be Bobby Firmino. I think Bobby's the nickname, like, for Roberto. Yeah, Robert, best nicknames for. I don't know how it makes sense. Rob and then Bobby doesn't even have an R or a T in it. So, anyways, but yeah, it had to be Robert Firmino, and it just had to be him. And the reason I'm mentioning why it had to be him is because he I think last week or over the week he announced that he wants to leave Liverpool, and he will be. His contract is ending at the end of the transfer at the end of the season, and he mentioned that he wanted to leave to another club. And it just had to be him right after the game. A very important game. Right after he announces that, he had to go score the 7th goal to make a record defeat against United. I mean, yeah, Firmino, man. I think Firmino, man, like, he's such a top player. I think he's still. I mean, did he go? He came from Monaco, did he not? Firmino. Why do I have a feeling he played for Monaco? I swear. He played in the Bundesliga, I'm pretty sure. Did not play for Monaco. Oh, he seems like the player who played for Monaco. For some reason, I thought he played for Monaco. I don't know why. Am I thinking of the wrong Brazilian here? I mean, yeah, Fabinho played for Monaco and Real Madrid, if you guys did not know that. But yeah, man, what a crazy game. It had to be Firmino to end it off there. And yeah, pretty crazy. As I said, a huge factor, the way Liverpool played, they were just more alive, especially in that midfield. Harvey Elliott really kind of caught my attention. The attack, superb attack. And then it really just drained the way they played, the possession, the high press, or not really high press, the high depth they played. Brilliant by Liverpool. And I mean, yeah, I did not expect this either. As I mentioned, I did not expect this. If Liverpool continue playing at this rate, I mean, if they win their next game in hand, they have one game in hand, they will go back into the top 4. Top 4 of the Premier League, which I think I think Liverpool will for sure come back into the top 4. I think they have the ability to do that. I mean, how many games are left? Like 12, 13 more games left. I think Liverpool can. I think he has the ability. I think Liverpool has the ability to come back. Tottenham Hotspurs, I mean, they're known for bottling it. I mean, Arsenal are also known for bottling it, but I mean, Arsenal, man, they are something else. I feel like Arsenal are less bottle jobs than Tottenham. I think just 2 weeks ago, it was the day it dated to 15 years, exactly 15 years. Spurs had not won a trophy. That is sad. That is really sad. And yeah, I think another huge factor. If we take a look at this, we see Manchester United 2-1 comeback as well. It was a 2-1 Barca. It was 2-1 against Barca, a comeback. And then you also see Liverpool 2-5 at Anfield. They were winning 2-0 at Anfield in the first 20 minutes, and then Real Madrid come smack them 5-2 comeback. Of course, the comeback kings at Anfield as well, Real Madrid. After these, you also see, I think the game after that, I'm pretty sure it was this game here. They draw this game here because I guess the depression state, the mental state after getting smacked. And the same thing with Barcelona as well. The same thing. Barcelona also drew their game. And if we go back here, and then Barca draw game after LFC draw game after, and then you see, and then on top of that you see United win first trophy after 6 years. They finally won a trophy after 6 years. The form, insane form in midfield, attack, defense, just the way they play. As I mentioned, the players. Same, of course, we already know Real Madrid. They're just different. And then you see Liverpool beat United 7-0, new record defeat for United. And then you also see Barcelona not best form this season. Barca beat Real Madrid. Barca beat Real Madrid 1-0 Copa del Rey. So I mean, what a turn of events! What a turn! The tables have turned. Barcelona also 9 points clear of the La Liga table after this week's fixtures of and just like, I guess, what am I trying to look here? The score line after the fixtures and the score line of this weekend. Barcelona winning, Real Madrid drawing their game against Real Betis, which we'll talk about soon. Yeah, it puts Barcelona 9 points clear. And as I just typed out all these like factors of what happened in the past weeks, and then this happens, it's unexpected. It's very unexpected. That is the word you have to say. But yeah, what a crazy game! What a crazy game! And then same thing goes. I mean, yeah, okay. Let's just take a look before we go to talk about this Arsenal game. Of course, Man City winning their game 2-1 against Newcastle. Man, Newcastle, what happened to them? I thought they were doing good. I mean, as I mentioned last episode, it's really about the second half of the season. The second half. It's not about how you start it. It's about how you end it. It's about how you end it, man. So, yeah, I think Newcastle, they started off well, but then a bit of a fall off. And I think Spurs are very, very well known for that. Chelsea... Chelsea now, they're just finished the season. I mean, finally they've gotten another win. I think their second win or first. I think their second win, or could be their first win after in the Premier League, specifically in the Premier League. After yeah, it's terrible, man. Chelsea are looking bad, but yeah, those are just those two games I wanted to mention. The game I want to talk about. We love you, Arsenal. We do. We love you, Arsenal. We do. We love you, Arsenal. We do. Oh, Arsenal, we love you. Oh my goodness, what a comeback, Arsenal, man! I said this the whole entire season, man. The whole entire season. This Arsenal team reminds me of the 04. Was it 04? Am I thinking 04, 03, 04? Arsenal Invincible. I think it was 03-04 season with Patrick Vieira, Pires, Bergkamp, Thierry Henry. Man, this Arsenal team was different, and yet under Arsene Wenger, and then yet again under a legend, you can say, somewhat a legend, Mikel Arteta. I mean, he under Pep Guardiola as well. I mean, arguably he scored Mikel Arteta, the Spaniard, same as Pep Guardiola. When he was at City, of course, he learned from Pep. But at the same time, he could arguably, the reason I'm saying Arsenal legend, he arguably scored one of the best free kicks in Premier League history. Just the dip on his shot, like the knuckleball type thing. But yeah, what a comeback! I mean, in the first half, man, Bournemouth. How do you pronounce this name? Is this a R here? Is this R and Bournemouth? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm butchering it hard, but they played really, really well. Not just in the first half, but even in like that until that second goal as well. Liverpool, or what did I keep saying? Liverpool. Arsenal's defense. I think they just let it in too easily. They kind of were a bit sloppy, letting in both those goals, and then the header from the cross from the corner as well, pretty sloppy. But then, guys, Thomas Partey, yet again, I want to talk about the midfield here, because I mean, Odegaard, he's different. Fabio Vieira, he's also he's really good as well for what he's able to do. But Thomas Partey, since Casemiro came to the Premier League, I think as defensive minded, I think as a CDM, as a pure CDM, not even defensively, even in the attack, I think Casemiro really showed the Premier League a true CDM role. But even before, I think before that, I mean, what's his name? The Spaniard for Man City. What is his name? Rodri. Why did I forget that? Rodri, he was pretty decent, but I feel like before Casemiro came and showed the Premier League a true CDM, I think Thomas Partey could arguably be the second best CDM in the Premier League. I mean, for Arsenal, he's a legend for sure. I would consider him a legend for Arsenal. And honestly, man, I think Thomas Partey, man, this guy deserves. He's pretty underrated. Watching him this game, I think he did really good. He made some really good chances to get up. I mean, he was involved in the second goal, which was Ben White. Just trying to remember which goal was this Ben White goal. Thomas Partey, of course, it was just very unlucky for Bournemouth. Of course, it was just going like back and forth inside the box, and then it was like far post. Thomas Partey is there. He gets in the back. And the second goal, though, I don't quite remember the second goal. I don't quite remember it, but I remember like seeing there's a few clips and like a few highlights. I watched the highlights, and it was like I watched the game, of course, but I watched the highlights afterwards. Thomas Partey, he made some really good dribbles, like fake shot, ball roll, a step over. He passes it, like even if the defender gets it, he gets it back right away. He recovers really well to get the ball back. So for me, I think Thomas Partey, man, what a player, such an underrated player. I mean, me and my cousin Gareth, we play FIFA together sometimes. Like we played the co-op seasons. We used Arsenal, man. Thomas Partey, even in FIFA 23 EA Sports, what a bad game that is. But even then, Thomas Partey, even though how bad the game is, Thomas Partey, what a player, and in real life as well. This guy's underrated. I really love Thomas Partey, man. I mean, if I had to choose who are the best players this weekend, in terms of Premier League in the midfield, I'd have to say Harvey Elliott for sure, Thomas Partey, and then I think you have to give it to Kevin De Bruyne for sure. But man, Thomas Partey, I mean, he was another one in this Premier League team who really kind of what is it called? Oh my, I used the word when we were talking about Liverpool. He caught my attention. Thomas Partey. I mean, yeah, of course, Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Trossard, Gabriel Martinelli. What a player. Zinchenko as well from Liverpool or from Man City. The Ukrainian man, this guy, the passion he has, and the thing with Zinchenko is he's been under Pep. If you've ever been under Pep, you see this with Messi, Joshua Kimmich, and now Zinchenko. You can see they changed drastically, mentally, physically. Zinchenko, he knows how to win trophies as well. He's won, I think, 3 or 4 Premier League titles with Man City under Pep Guardiola. So Zinchenko, he plays for the badge. Saliba, Gabriel, what a dual partnership in the back line. Tomiyasu, the Japanese passion, man, after the World Cup, man. All these Japanese players showing up. You see Tomiyasu, who's the other guy? Minamito for Monaco. There's also the one for from Brighton. And then who's the guy who always gets loaned out from Real Madrid? I think he plays for Villarreal. Kubo. Yeah, it's Kubo. All these Japanese players really showing up, man. So underrated as well. But yeah, Liverpool, what a team. I mean, they're all crazy players, and as I mentioned, Zinchenko, the passion, Thomas Partey, as I mentioned, very very underrated player. But of course, you had to know 2-0 down. They of course, as I said, Thomas Partey doing really good. Odegaard always doing what he does to defensively and in the attack to create chances with Saka, Gabriel Martinelli. Of course, he has the Brazilian Samba, the Samba guys, the Samba. And of course, I don't know what that was. And Reece Nelson, but I always get confused. Is he Brazilian? Is he the Brazilian? He's English. I think they have another Brazilian youngster. Wait, Arsenal youth players. I swear they have another. Who am I getting it confused with here? I don't show me the ones that they currently have. Wait. Oh no, I swear I thought I'm getting confused with someone. I've been playing some FIFA career mode. I'm not a FIFA merchant, guys, but still. But yeah, Reece Nelson. It couldn't be. It couldn't be like more like. What am I trying to say here? Like it couldn't be any more like the last minute, last millisecond of the game, last touch of the game. It was the last possible touch of the game, off of the corner. It's yet again Odegaard. What a player, crosses it in. It's headed outside the box where it's Reece Nelson. He has a chance. He takes a touch on it. He has a chance, and he hits it far post past the Brazilian Neto, former Barcelona keeper, or backup keeper, and Arsenal go on to win it. The stadium, it goes wild. Of course, everyone running on the pitch. Man, what a crazy comeback! As I said, it couldn't have been this was literally the last possible touch. If he misses it, the whistle is called. If someone else had touched it and it rebounded out, if it went back out into the middle of the field, it's called. Even like the final third of the field, like the edge before getting into the final third of the field, it's out. Man, what a goal! And it was a really good volley as well. He like controlled it really good, and then like he kind of volleyed it. It was a nice curl to go far. Not really a curl, I think it was with his left foot, and it curled like into the right direction, like with his left foot. A beautiful goal. Like, holy, what a comeback! But yeah, man, Arsenal. They, as I said, the way they play, Thomas Partey, Zinchenko, the passion. Everybody in this team has passion, the chemistry, and I think that's a huge thing regarding football. It's not the skill ability as well. You have to have chemistry within the team. And I think, as I mentioned, that is a huge factor into why Barcelona or Manchester United lost 7-0. Is I think just in that game specifically, they didn't have the chemistry. Mentally, they weren't prepared. Especially, I think every team, when they go to Anfield, they're not going to be prepared, because Anfield is it's a dungeon, as Patrice Evra, former United player, Frenchman, said. He had a podcast with Rio Ferdinand that I watched, and he mentioned it's a dungeon. It really is a dungeon. And yeah, I think Arsenal, they have both the skill, the technical ability, the tactic ability from, of course, the manager. On top of that, they have the mental states, the mental ability as well. They have it there. But yeah, that is a crazy, man. Only 35 minutes of the podcast just talking about the Premier League. I mean, usually our podcast is an hour, 10 minutes, and we're only been on Premier League. We still have three more. I want to talk about La Liga regarding two teams, Paris Saint-Germain, regarding the game they had this weekend and further on, and then kind of recap on Champions League and Europa League. It's already been 35 minutes. Holy, but I mean, that is it. That's what the podcast is. Talk about football news, guys. Let's talk about the games regarding La Liga. Barcelona beating what's his name, Valencia 1-0. Or does Kubo play for Valencia? No, I think he plays for Villarreal. Anyways, yeah, Ronald Araujo. A lot of Real Madrid fans were very, very happy. I think he got a yellow card the game before. I'm pretty sure. Is that why? We'll take a look. He didn't even play the game before. Just give me a moment. Let me see this. I don't know where he is. What the heck? Where's this guy? Anyways, yeah, it was something to do with the red card. I think it was the challenge he gave, that it was a very bad red card and it could have been a 2-match loan, but then they looked over it again, and then I think they now call it. It's official that now they call it a 1-match ban. So it's not a 2-match ban because of the red card. A 2-match unable to play for two, and it's not a 2-match suspension, rather a 1-match suspension, and it's very bad. A lot of Real Madrid fans were happy in the moment of the red card. But after the match, when they reviewed it, they said it's a 1-match suspension. Real Madrid in the mud, and that is due to, of course, Ronald Araujo pocketing Vinny Jr. Guys, before we go on to talk, let's talk about these two games and then go on to the Copa del Rey. Yeah, Barcelona, man, I think they played really good. As I mentioned, guys, a very underrated player, like not really underrated but underused player, Franck Kessié, man. Franck Kessié, is he Cameroonian? Or Ivory Coast or something like that. The African man, Franck Kessié from AC Milan. What a player! I think I still don't understand why they're using no leg Busquets and not Franck Kessié. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and you can see very, very well that Franck Kessié, when he got subbed on for Sergio Roberto, who has a miracle of a career still since that goal against PSG, comeback 6-1. In the second leg. But yeah, man, Franck Kessié, man, what a player he is. What a player defensively. In the attack, I think mainly in the attack, he really caught my attention because, of course, he had a really good through ball. Unfortunately, it was offside from I don't quite know who it was from. Was it? I think it was from Ferran Torres, who was back here. He sends the through ball into what's his name, Franck Kessié. He goes, it rebounds. No, this is the. I'm thinking about the Copa del Rey game. Oh man, I'm thinking about the Copa del Rey game. Anyways, this game, I didn't even watch this game. Why am I talking about this game? But oh my goodness. Okay, let's just go talk about Real Madrid. Yeah, Real Madrid. Yeah, Franck Kessié yet again. He did start. It's Ferran Torres, I believe, who sends the through ball into Franck Kessié, and then. Yeah, he sends a through ball into Franck Kessié, and then it's Franck Kessié. Courtois does end up saving it, but then it hits back to Kessié, goes in the back of the net. But as I mentioned, he was offside, but just the ability, the run that he was able to make, he's a CDM. He's a player able to defend, able to attack, who actually has legs, other than Sergio Busquets, man. I swear, this guy literally has no legs, and he's still starting over Franck Kessié. He played the full 90 minutes over him as well. And then and yeah, Eder Militao own goal. I don't quite remember that goal. But then there was another moment, Franck Kessié What was it? Yeah, it was off of a corner, I believe. No, it was Ferran Torres. It was yet again, or yeah, I think it was Ferran Torres or Rafinha who's down here on going to the top of the box or to the end of the box. Cuts inside to Frank Kessié, and guys, it's the supposedly the next number 10, the next Lionel Messi for Barcelona, Ansu Fati, who's literally playing for Real Madrid that game, literally blocks Frank Kessié's shot. If he didn't, it would have been 2-0 up and would have been more secure. They would have secured it even more. But man, Ansu Fati, man, I mean, injury really hurt him. I mean, at the same time, man, Vinny Jr. also had quite a few injuries during the same era as Ansu Fati, but Vinny really brought it back. Man, Ansu Fati, I really thought he has the number 10. They gave him number 10 as well. What a disgrace he's done to that number 10. They should have gave number 10 to, I don't know, Rafinha. I feel like Rafinha would be really nice for that. But yeah, anyways, guys, very very bad from Ansu Fati. Literally was playing for Real Madrid. Real Madrid this game, I mean, they had a few good abilities. I think, of course, as I mentioned, Ronald Araujo. This guy is a beast. He is literally a beast. Him and Jules Koundé, really good signing. Koundé, Ronald Araujo pocketing Vinny. I swear, man, in the past 3 games, Vinny does not know how to dribble. 2018, Vinny decided to show up. I mean, against Ronald Araujo, 2018, Vinny always shows up because Araujo just pockets him, makes him look like nothing. But other than that, I think it was 3 games ago, and then last game, which was this weekend against Real Betis, man, Vinny just did not know how to dribble. But yeah, pretty crazy game for the Copa del Rey. Nothing really. I don't want to go really into depth about that because I didn't really watch the too much of it. I just saw a bit of the clips on it online, like on Instagram. Not even rematch, like not even the match highlights on YouTube. But anyways, yeah, man, Vinny Jr. Man. I mean, I feel like he's not really been doing the best this season, or no, not this season. The past 3 games, he's just doesn't know how to dribble. Benzema, he's just chilling, man. He's just chilling. Doesn't know how to finish. Same with Vinny, man. 2018 Vinny really decided to show up. He doesn't know how to dribble. On top of that, he doesn't know how to finish. Doesn't know how to finish a goal. Um, Real, even Carvajal, man. Carvajal, Nacho, man. Nacho, he was doing good like a few games ago, but then didn't really have the best games the past 2 games. Carvalho, or not Carvalho. Why am I saying Carvalho? I'm thinking of the Liverpool center mid, but what's his name? Danny Carvajal. I mean, he's also not been having the best of times either. I mean, he's getting pretty old, but when you think about it, Luka Modric, 37 years old, and this guy is still the best center mid in the world. That guy doesn't age. I mean, when it comes to big games, man, Danny Carvajal always shows up against UCL, man. Of course, we saw this back in 2018 against Atletico de Madrid. The Ronaldo, the bicycle kick, the passion that Danny Carvajal had to recover, get the ball back, and cross it back in. He did the exact same thing against, who was it? Against Man City as well. He almost exactly the same, except it was a header in by Rodrigo to come back. But yeah, I don't know. This game as well, man. He just couldn't really cross it in. He's getting old. I mean, that's another reason why Valverde is playing on this right side. So when Danny Carvajal does play here, Valverde is kind of his backup there for Danny Carvajal. It does look like Ancelotti was kind of testing a new formation, like a 4-4-2 with Vinny a bit more drop back. But man, I think the only formations Barcelona and Real Madrid can play 4-3-3. So if it works, just stick to that. Both Xavi and Ancelotti. On top of that, I mean, they had a few pretty good chances. They just couldn't finish, man. They didn't know how to finish. And I feel like against Betis, they also did play a bit slow, just a bit slower than usual. Like, I feel like they could have made a few better passes. I mean, they of course, they have the good vision, the through balls in, but the finishing was pretty poor, especially by Vinny and stuff. And as I mentioned, I feel like they played a bit too slow. They couldn't really control the tempo of the game. I think Betis really did good to kind of do something against that. But yeah, that is La Liga there. 30 minutes about Premier League, and then we go 10 minutes. Just, I don't know, not even the good explanations about La Liga. Love to see it, love to see it. But that's because, man, I didn't really watch a ton of La Liga. because Premier League is just superior. And of course they really showed up this weekend. But yeah, PSG, we're gonna go into depth because of course my team here, PSG versus Nantes. I mean, not the best of games until the last 30, 15, 20 minutes, I would say. Of course, Lionel Messi in the 12th minute getting a little, what is it, like a little chip over, assisted by Kylian Mbappe, which gets his 700th goal for Lionel Messi, I believe. 700th, is it? Lionel Messi gets one step closer. Maybe it's 800. I guess he's getting near 800. Anyways, yeah, he Lionel Messi doing Messi stuff. We get an own goal here as well in the 17th minute, and then 31st minute. Which one is this? Was this the header from a corner? And then what a man, Donnarumma, best keeper in the world, my keeper right here. They play like a through ball in. Danilo Pereira trying to mark him, but the other guy was just too fast. Near post, literally Donnarumma didn't save that. He let him go in on this slightest corner here. Who was it? Was it Roberto Carlos who almost did like the same thing? Like very, very like tight corner, tight like angle goal. Was it Roberto Carlos, man? Man, crazy. Donnarumma, man. My keeper right there. But terrible, terrible defending by Donnarumma. I think that was all Donnarumma's fault. But yeah, Danilo Pereira going to get a header as well. And then Kylian Mbappe, 200. Last game he tied 200 goals with Edison Cavani. He's now 24 years old. Mbappe is 24 years old and has now broken the goal scoring record at PSG. He was now our most desirable, our most honorable, our top goal scorer at Paris Saint-Germain at only the age of 24 with 201 goals. And you love to see it. He's doing it alongside, on the same pitch, alongside Lionel Messi, the GOAT, who did the exact same thing at the age of 24 at Barcelona. Lionel Messi becoming the all-time goal scorer, breaking the record in the club at the age of 24 as well. Mbappe doing the same thing. Man, Mbappe, the technical ability, the through balls he had is just crazy, man. It's so crazy how good of a player he is. And I'll talk about that in a sec. Let me just continue talking about the game. Pembele, man, he got subbed on for Mukiele. I think Mukiele got a bit of a discomfort in his leg, unfortunately. But yeah, Pembele, man, the youngster, he actually did pretty good when I saw him play towards the final 30-20 minutes. Pembele, he really, Ousmane Dembele when he takes penalties. Pembele. Anyways, but yeah, I had to make the joke. Pembele, man, he actually did really good as a PS. Guys, I watch PSG every week, so don't come out and hate about me. But yeah, Pembele, he actually did really good. Of course, Nuno Mendes, what a player, what a player. This guy's literally turning into prime Roberto Carlos. Prime Roberto Carlos. The dribbles, the attacking ability he has, crazy. It's so crazy. Roberto Carlos, but Roberto Carlos, you know, I'm calling him that because he's transforming into him. Nuno Mendes, what a player. We got him for 35 million from Sporting. Even last season he was brilliant. He's like 19 or 20 years old, I believe. What a player, what a freaking player. But what was I gonna mention here? Yeah, we played really good in the attack, especially in the last minute. The two goals we conceded though are pretty sloppy, especially that Donnarumma one. But guys, now I want to talk about really the PSG side. So let's just take a look at some of the news here regarding PSG, because that's gonna involve what I want to talk about, like about the mental, the states that PSG are in, not the game style. I guess like the states moving on. Moussa Diaby sees a return to Paris Saint-Germain this summer. He plays for, I think, currently for what's the Brazil, Bayern Leverkusen. High on his list, the Frenchman wants to take the next steps. So of course, yeah, Moussa Diaby, a brilliant player. He's having a pretty good season. I feel like he's pretty. Moussa Diaby. Yeah, he's young, of course. I think he's having a pretty decent season as well. He's pretty underrated. Even last season, he was doing pretty good. We take a look here. Is it Alright, so here, 31 appearances, 11 goals, 6 assists. I mean, that's pretty decent. That is really, especially in the Bundesliga, when you not overall, but especially in the Bundesliga, you take a look at this: 22 goals, 8 or 22 appearances, 8 goals, 5 assists. I think not just that, his technical ability, like the build up, his speed to get in behind. He is a solid player, so I'd gladly take him back. Of course, I think PSG are a team who's able to. We're a team, of course. You see, we play a 3-5. We play a 3-5-2, and these wing backs really go up a lot. I mean, we usually play fullbacks such as Juan Bernat, Nuno Mendes on the left side, and then Mukiele slash Hakimi on the right side. However, I think an attacker wouldn't. I mean, I don't really know. I feel like we do need a defender there, but I think when it comes later into the game, like the last 20-30 minutes into the game, subbing off a defender for an attacker would be pretty decent, just to get a few more attacks, just to finish and end off the game. Getting some more goals in wouldn't be that bad. So that is that. But guys, the news, the deadly news, or the most important news I want to talk about regarding PSG: Neymar's injury. During Neymar's medical examination prior to his signing with PSG at 2017, the exams revealed that his right foot was in poor condition. It would have been wise at the time to operate it right away, but given the stakes of the recruitment and transfer fee, this option led to be ruled out. Many orthopedic specialists think it might have led to the sequence of problems encountered ever since. Neymar does not intend to leave PSG, where he feels good and has a contract until 2027. Nevertheless, Luis Campos, of course, our sporting director, would not be against his departure like last summer. So, what do I have to say about this, about a PSG fan? I mean, letting him go, not my favorite. So Luis Campos, I mean, he's also a bit of a fraud in terms of like not signing the best players like in the winter. Um, like last minute, like trying to get like signings in the last day. Aka like Hakim Ziyech. Um, what's his name? I think even in the summer as well, we're signing Hugo Ekitike. Man, what has he done? What has he really done? He's a solid player. I don't mind him, but either way, man, the scouts like sometimes like Fabian Ruiz, Renato Sanchez, Carlos Soler. I mean, Fabian Ruiz, I really like him, but sometimes he's like there's better players. We have better options, is what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we need no. I think we need Neymarzito, the Brazilian, the Samba. He is honestly probably after Lionel Messi the world's best magician, for sure. Like, actually, no, maybe I think in history, and not in history, I think currently, yeah, you have to say it currently. Messi first and Neymarzito second. But guys, about his injury, he is confirmed. PSG have confirmed that Neymarzito is now injured until the end of the season, for 3 or 4 months out, due to such an unnecessary challenge he made against, I think it was the game after Bayern Munich Champions League first leg this season, which was against Lille, I believe. I think it was against Lille, Lost Lille. But anyways, guys, yeah. Anyways, what was I saying here? So of course, I think losing Neymar is not the best. Of course, he's very involved in link up plays regarding like a link up between our midfield, like our defense. Passes it to Fabian Ruiz, passes it to Messi, and Messi's the one who with this superb passing, he turns his agile dribbling and then sends a through ball into Mbappe. And Neymar, he's very good at that as well. We see this a lot of the times this season. You see like you see Nuno Mendes or like Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Verratti. They pass it to Neymar. Neymar, he quickly turns. He sees Mbappe, who always makes that through ball. I mentioned this in our last podcast. How effective Mbappe is in our attack, and then we go on to attack. Mbappe does him, and we score. Nuno Mendes and Nuno, or not Nuno Mendes, Lionel Messi and Neymar are really those players who link up our midfield with our attack, aka Mbappe, and they're really good at it as well. They're I guess they have the magic, their agility, their dribbling on the ball. They're able to quickly turn, see that passing, make it the through ball into Mbappe quickly. Now that's the part I'm very worried about. Is like we lost a very good player who we don't have many of those players. I'd say the only player we have, Messi. You can say Vitinha as well as one of those players. I mean, who else? I think that's really it. It's just, I guess you can say Verratti, and then of course Lionel Messi. Maybe Vitinha. I think Vitinha needs to get better at that, like in his creative ability to make a through ball and stuff. But I'd also say, as a PSG fan, I mentioned this with my friends as well, and they just said, "Oh my, what type of football fan are you guys?" Of course, I watch football weekly. I watch PSG weekly, man. These people, like my friends, no offense, I don't know if they watch PSG weekly. I don't know if they just watch the highlights, but I watched the full 90 minutes, man. I not just that, I see news on my Twitter page weekly. I see news daily. I see news about PSG. I know what's going on in and out for PSG. You see all on here. Ooh, what is this? You see all on here. FIFA, guys. FIFA content. What do we call it? But anyways, you like everything. Oh my goodness. Jamie Carragher, of course, Liverpool legend, and then he took a picture with, of course, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? He played for United. I forgot his name. I think of it. Gary Neville. Gary Neville. Yeah, of course, he had to do it after the 7-0. But as you can see, like a PSG news day in, day out. If we go over here, PSG Hub, PSG Chief. Yeah, just like everything PSG. I watch them weekly. I watch them daily, man. I think the way that we play better when we only have Messi or Neymar. I think we play worse when we have Messi and Neymar at the same time. And the reason I say that is we play so much better when we have a back line, a three-player back line, a 3-5-2. This is our best formation. It worked very good in the beginning of the season. Last game, and now this game as well, is we're using it again, and it's very efficient yet again. The reason for, of course, Donnarumma, Danilo Pereira, a beast, Ramos, Marquinhos, of course, they're doing their jobs, and then the wing backs. I think a huge thing with PSG is our wing backs. It's so important. Of course, we see this. Nuno Mendes makes these very good runs across. He's fast. He makes a really good runs. He cuts inside the dribbles. He can get past players. Defensively, he can recover well. And the same on the left side. I think I like Hakimi over Mukiele, but Mukiele, he has the ability to do that as well. But I think Hakimi is the better player for us. Like, he's the better player to do that on the right side. However, Mukiele is an option which we used because I think Hakimi is injured as well. He is also going through a bit of allegations regarding some bad stuff. Go search it up if you want. Hakimi allegations or accusations. Anyways, and then we have to play a 5 midfield setup, and mainly I'd say that as I mentioned, I would like I don't mind if we get Moussa Diaby, sub him on like on the wing backs, but I think that having 5 midfielders, especially who have defensive capabilities, both on the wings, even if our wing backs go up, if they're able to recover and defend as well, very key for us. And we have players who can do that. Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Mukiele. And then in the midfield, Fabian Ruiz, he's becoming better. Vitinha, he's learning like how to be like Messi, like see the through balls and stuff. And then Verratti, of course, I love Verratti. Other than when he does bad, like against Bayern, tripping over himself, man. And then in the attack, I like to see Messi and Mbappe, and I don't like to see Messi and Neymar. I don't like to see that. The reason for is one, we cannot play a four. We cannot play Messi, Mbappe, Neymar all together at once. I mean, we can. I think it's really really good when we do that. Of course, you think it's gonna be like the best attack in the world. However, the only reason I don't like that is one, all three of these players they don't defend much. You could say Neymar comes back to defend, um, but then he's gonna like probably get injured or run out of stamina easily. That's one. Secondly, is we lack in the real defenders. Yes, Neymar drops back to defend, but as a when your job is a real defender, you're gonna be better at that, such as Fabian Ruiz, WZE, Vitinha, Mukiele, Nuno Mendes, Verratti, Danilo Pereira. Their job is to actually defend. Of course, our backline. That's their main job, so they're gonna be better at it than Neymar, who drops back to help defend somewhat. So that's one thing, is we kind of lose our midfield defending. However, we kind of also I guess upgrade our creative ability in the attack. But the reason we have to play Mbappe and Messi, or Mbappe and Neymar, like those two is my more favorite options, is, as I mentioned, I think we need five defensive like the defensive capability players in the midfield with our three back players. And then on top of that, Messi and Neymar, man, they cannot play together in the attack. If we take an example like Bayern Munich, you see, if we take an example like, actually we have it here. You see here, we played a four back. Messi and Neymar, these guys love to drop back, not to defend. I think Neymar does defend a bit, but not only to defend, but to create. These guys, you see a lot of the time, Messi, Neymar, they drop back to allow players to go forward to then get a goal. Neymar and Messi are the ones who want to be the one to pass it through. The creative ability to see that passion, to see that through ball in behind the defense, to dribble, like do a dribble build up. As I said, make those creative abilities. Messi and Neymar are meant to do that. And yeah, I just want to take a screenshot of this because I want to draw on it. Oh shoot! When you take a oops, let me just give me a moment here. During this game against Bayern Munich, the whole time, as I mentioned, you see Neymar and Messi, they drop back. No, not all the way back there, but you get what I mean. They drop back like over here. So then they expect our players to make in these runs in behind and stuff. They expect like all these guys to go in behind. And the reason that Neymar and Messi like to drop back is because, actually not Danilo Pereira, but Verratti, like the wingers go like get in behind, is because they want to be the ones who then send the through ball in behind. They want to be the ones who send the through ball in behind. But the problem is, all these players here is one. You have this guy here, young, so he's not the best in the attack. Carlos Soler, same thing. I mean, he's not young, but not the best in the attack. He doesn't know how to make those runs. Same with Verratti. He's more of a defensive-oriented player who also is the same as Messi and Neymar. Likes to defend, but at the same time make those creative passes from the midfield. That's one problem. Secondly, them lots, Lionel Messi and Neymar, when you drop back, especially in this game here, as I mentioned, we don't have any other attacking players. It's usually all defensive, and for that reason, we're going to be left with no attack, because these guys drop back, but at the same time, initially they were supposed to be our attack, not our creative oriented players. You get what I mean? And then for that reason, you see a lot of the time in the first half of the game, we're playing a freaking like a 4-5. We're playing a 4-5. Wait, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 a 4-6. We're playing a 4-6, and that's because Neymar and Messi drop back instead. They drop back, and they drop back here. They become our midfielders, but initially they were supposed to be our attack, making those runs in behind, and for that reason we can't play. However, when we play with Mbappe, in this game recently, when we play with Mbappe, you can see a lot. You can see we play so much better, and that is due to the technical, the just the player that Mbappe is. And when it comes to this, I mean, I don't mind when Messi and Neymar drop back to create chances. But when both of them when both of them are initially meant to be our attack, and then both of them do it, we're gonna be left with no attack. So for this reason, Lionel Messi, he's like, as I mentioned, I don't mind if they drop back. Messi, he drops back instead. It's like we play in the back line, we move the ball, we get it into the midfield, and then these guys, Messi drops back to get the ball from them, and then it's Messi who sends the through ball in behind, and it's Mbappe, his technical ability, his pace, his his movement on and off the ball. As I mentioned, his technical ability is the one who's making the runs in behind. Is a through ball into Mbappe and easy. However, with Messi and Neymar, they both want to drop back to create, but initially they were meant to be our attack, which means we don't have any attack. That's what I'm trying to say here. So I think a technical ability, like for a player to do that, to drop back and create, we're losing someone, and he's honestly one of the world's best players who can do that. We of course Messi and now Neymar. We're Messi and now we're losing Neymar. So we're losing a player who's able to drop back and quickly switch up the play. Of course, you see a lot of this. Neymar quickly switching it. He turns, he dribbles, turns, passes it to Mbappe. We're losing a player who can do that. We still have Messi, however, we're losing that. That is pretty bad. However, at the same time, I'm happy as well because I think we play much better when we only play with Mbappe in the attack and Lionel Messi or Neymar. We can't play all three at once. We can't play Neymar and Messi together. It has to be Mbappe and one of those two. But now that Neymar is injured, unfortunately, we're losing a technical dribbler, a magician, the world's best, the Samba magician, second best after Messi. But at the same time, I think technically, for the way that we play, it kind of helps us in terms of, like, as I just mentioned, Mbappe making the runs in behind. It's okay for Messi to drop back, receive the ball, and switch it up. However, when we play Messi and Neymar at the same time, they both do that. Initially, they were both meant to be our attack, but since both of them like to drop back, now we have no attack. And for that reason, you can see against Bayern, we played so much drop back. That is literally the reason. Guys, I had to go so much. I had to make a rant about this because, man, I watch PSG every week. Please, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I watch PSG weekly. I can't speak any more factually. How we played this week against Nantes, the week before as well. Who did we have the week before? I don't quite remember. Was it Lens? I think it was Lens or RC Lens. No, Marseille. Yes, the Le Classique where we smoked them. Mbappe with the 2 goals. Messi, yeah, this was them 2 assists from Messi and the goal, and then the 1 assist for Mbappe and the 2 goals. So brilliance there, the duo partnership. However, guys, I want to yeah, this game, the Le Classique against and then this weekend as well against, who is it? Against Nantes, we played really good, especially about how I mentioned, like Mbappe, the one making the run behind, Messi drop back and create instead. The 5 defender midfielders, really good. The 3-5-2. With that, guys, we've been playing so much better the past 2 weeks. And for that reason, let's do a quick recap on Champions League. For that reason, I'm still gonna make my prediction that Barcelona or Paris Saint-Germain will beat Bayern. And as I mentioned, we mentioned this with Gareth as well. A full 90-minute game is a huge difference than 20-minute, 30-minute sub on for Mbappe. Mbappe was just barely being recovered. It was a small injury, so he was still a bit iffy. He was just coming out of recovery from that, and now we have a full form Mbappe. 90 minutes can make a huge difference. On top of that, the way we've been playing the past 2 weeks after this game. On top of that, as I just mentioned, the 3-5-2 formation that Galtier has went back to, and the way that we played, instead of Messi and Neymar together, only Mbappe and Messi or Neymar, one of them, Messi or Neymar, or now Messi only, will drop back and create it to Mbappe, who goes forward. rather than Messi and Neymar playing together, and then they both drop back, making us initially having no attack. That is one thing, and for that reason, I'm still gonna say that that Paris Saint-Germain win our game. Where is it? I still have to say it. I think we're gonna make a comeback with all the factors I just mentioned. Benfica, I mean, guys, as I always like to say this, every season we have this team who's always the underdogs. We see this in every tournament. In the World Cup, we see this with Croatia, in 2018 and in 2020 and this year as well. We see this with Monaco this year. I think, in 2018 it was Croatia. This year you can say it was Monaco, Croatia, and Japan. I would have to say we're all three the underdogs of the World Cup. But when it comes to the UCL this season, Benfica, what a team! Not just in the UCL, but in Portugal as well. They're a killer team alongside Porto, who are also a very, very strong team with the Persian R9, Mehdi Taremi. So I think Benfica will win. But as I mentioned, going back to the underdogs, Benfica, like, there's always in every tournament, especially every year in the UCL, there's always an underdog. This year, Benfica. Last year, Villarreal. The year before, I'd have to say, was somewhat Porto. And then, of course, 2019/2020, of course, you have Ajax, man. That team was crazy. I think it was 2016/17, the AS Monaco season. They killed it. That's when Mbappe was still there. The season before Mbappe went to PSG, AS Monaco, killer team. What a banger team they had. You had Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, Fabinho. Was Hakim Ziyech? Now Ziyech played for Riyad Mahrez. No, he came from Leicester, I believe. But like you had a crazy team there as well. And Monaco were the underdogs, and for me this year, Benfica are for sure the underdogs, and I think they're gonna go on to the next stage. Chelsea, Dortmund. I mean, Dortmund are a good team. Chelsea, they just won another game. And talking about Chelsea, let's go ahead and talk about this news here. João Felix on why he picked Chelsea as a January move. Chelsea is a team that likes to attack, has the ball, dominate the game. So that is why I like to play here. I feel very free to play here, and I like it. I love it. I'll agree that he's more free. However, I won't agree that they don't attack, has the ball, dominate the game. They don't know how to move the ball, man. They don't know how to move the ball. They only move it side to side. They don't know how to move it up. And when they do move it up, they bottle it most of the time. But yeah, I'll agree that he's a bit more free, man. I swear, Atletico Pats, Atletico Rats, Atletico Madrid is literally a prison. It is literally a prison. And then yeah, regarding here, N'Golo Kanté back to training but not ready to return yet, says Graham. Potter ball, Harry Potter. It's a complex one because he's had a long time out. It's how you get him back to speed to play top level football. He won't be able to play straight for 90 minutes anytime soon, he added. So I don't know, is he actually that big of a player? If he comes back, we'll see if he really changes Chelsea's midfield. But I just wanted to mention that. Chelsea, of course, they're winning. They won their game this weekend. However, I do think Dortmund, I don't know, man. Enzo, João Felix, Mudryk. At the same time, Dortmund have a really good strong team as well. Jude Bellingham, Julian Brandt, Schlotterbeck, he's doing pretty good. Haller, I think Haller is also back from he had cancer. He beat cancer, and even like before cancer, he was having a baller season in the Champions League. So I think Dortmund will go on to win that. Napoli, Frankfurt, I think, man, of course you have to give it to Napoli. City, Leipzig, I mean, it's a 0-0 or it's a 1-1 draw. Leipzig, I mean, Leipzig are a good team, but Leipzig are a good team, so I'm not gonna sleep on them. I could possibly see Leipzig winning. I'm not saying that I could see that. I wouldn't be surprised, but because they're a pretty good team. They are a pretty strong team. Not the most loved team in Germany, but and that is due to, of course, it's RB Leipzig. RB is literally Red Bull, the whole company, Red Bull, the energy drink and stuff. They're also a sports company, or a sports organization, a sports network. They bought the whole RB Leipzig team. In Germany, every team is a fan-based club. All like mostly the fans of the team own 51% of the team, and then for that reason, like they make a lot of the fans are really involved in making decisions. Like you see teams like Bayern, I think Dortmund are like this. I think Juventus, I think a few Serie A teams are also like this, where the fans are the ones who make a lot of the decisions. Same with Real Madrid. I think like La Liga, a few of the teams are like this, where fans own 51% of the club. So then like they're involved in, I guess, making decisions, or like there's an organization like kind of who makes these decisions. But Leipzig, they don't really have that system. But so that's why I'm saying they're not the most loved team in Germany. However, in Europe, they're a pretty strong team. You have players like Timo Werner and Kunku, Gavardio, what's his name, Klosterman. So, but I mean, Man City, man, I think they have to show up. Man City, Pep Guardiola, he has to win this. So I think City will win, but I won't be surprised if Leipzig win. I'm not sleeping on Leipzig. They're a strong team. And then Inter and Porto. I mean, I know Inter are up 1-0, but man, the Portuguese passion. Inter Porto, man. I might switch my decision here. Switch decision. However, and I'll just put this down here so I know this is our last podcast, another podcast with Gareth. But yeah, I don't know. I really do think that I want Porto to win, although I think Inter are a team that will be able to hold up. I think Inter will win there. But yeah, those are my predictions there. Do we have Europa League this week as well? Thursday, March 9th. We do. Okay, so Sporting Arsenal. The Portuguese passion yet again. I think Sporting will win. Or no, Arsenal will win, but yeah, don't sleep on Portuguese team. Union Berlin, I mean, this is such a random one, but I think Union Berlin are pretty... They've been showing up in the second half of the Bundesliga, so they've really caught my attention in the second half. They're top 3 in the Bundesliga table, I believe. Maybe top 4 now, but I think they'll win that. Juve, I mean, they're doing pretty good. They won their game last week, which is really, really good for them. A bit like up and down, like they're losing and then they draw it, lose again, draw, and then finally they're up and winning. Who is it against? I don't. Florentina, was it? Don't quite remember, but they did win their game, and of course in the last Europa League game, against Nantes as well. Of course, Di Maria, beauty. Leverkusen, I think, yeah, Leverkusen will win that. Xabi Alonso ball. Roma, Real Sociedad. I won't sleep on Sociedad. However, Roma, Jose Mourinho, I think they'll do good. I mean, they did good this weekend as well. I think they had a pretty decent game. I saw a few of the highlights, like clips online. United, Real Betis. I think United will win this for sure. I mean, I don't know. What do I really say? After 7-0, mentally wise, they're not going to win it. But I think United will still win this. And at the same time, don't sleep on Real Betis. I'm not sleeping on them. And they drew against Real Madrid. And Shakhtar, Feyenoord, very, very good teams. But I think Shakhtar... I mean, I don't know. I think Shakhtar... I think this first leg will be a draw, and I think it's going to have to come down to the second leg. But I think Shakhtar will be the stronger team. But I mean, Feyenoord are a team... I mean, wait, are Feyenoord? They're in the... Are they? Are they in the Dutch league? They're in the Dutch league. So I think they're a pretty solid team as well. Both Feyenoord and Shakhtar are very, very strong teams. Like a very good matchup for both teams. So it's going to be a tough one. I think it's a draw for both of them. Actually, I wondered before I end it, is Feyenoord, what's his name? Jahanbakhsh. Actually, I think he went to the Bundesliga. No, no, he does. No, he does still play in Feyenoord. Okay, I was just wondering here. But yeah, crazy episode, 120, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Let's actually end it off with a football, man. We haven't done a football in a while. I mean, the last time we tried doing it, it didn't really work. Oh, it works. Let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and end it off with a football, guys. Today's challenge. Let's go ahead. Who do we talk about today? Let's start it off with the Premier League. Let's start it off with the best striker in the world, Darwin Nunez. So not a Premier League, of course. Mbappe breaking records today. Top PSG goal scorer. Let's go ahead and do Mbappe. Not a Ligue 1, not French. We head over to. Let's go to the La Liga, and we'll go ahead and let's do Di Maria, man. Maria. Oh, so I think it's a La Liga or Bundesliga player. Portuguese. Let's do Danny Carvajal. Danny Carvajal. Ceballos works as well. Right here, Carvajal. Oh my goodness. Kimmich. Oops. Go ahead and guess Kimmich. Okay, so this is in the Bundesliga. I mean, who's a good German? Did we talk about any Germans today? Sule. Let's go ahead. Sule. Dortmund. It can't be Schlotterbeck. So I think it's Royce. I think Royce is our only other option. Let's go. Let's get it. And then also, let's see. Missing 11. Let's see. My ball knowledge good. Ajax, man. I don't watch Ajax though. Unlucky. I don't watch Ajax. Anyways, guys, long episode today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Next episode will probably be on Friday. I think on Friday. I won't be going to school on Friday, so I might have that day off due to me having a driving test. Hopefully I can pass it, get my N, be able to drive alone and not with someone else who has a driver's license. Hopefully I can finally unlock my full potential in the driving world. Actually, I think this is still another test after this. Like 3 years after you get your N, there's like another test. But hopefully I can like transform, get a upper. Hopefully I can upgrade my driving technique, my driving level, my driving skills during this driving test and pass it. But yeah, for that reason, I'll have that day off, and then I'll probably be able to do a podcast yet again. We're gonna talk. Maybe we'll have one on Wednesday as well, directly after the PSG game, depending on the results. I want to do a straight same day kind of review, talk about it right away. Whether it's PSG win, I want to talk about that for sure. Of course, crazy comeback, as well as if PSG lose, how the social media will react. I want to do the same thing how I did for the first leg. So yeah, I think Wednesday we'll for sure do one regarding PSG Bayern. I want to kind of respond to that right away on that same day after my school, and then after that we'll also have one on Friday as well regarding not only PSG but the other UCL games, and as well we're gonna be talking about Europa League, and then I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. But yeah, stay safe, stay positive, stay flow, and I'll see you Wednesday and Friday. For now, peace. Yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.